Hey, before you allow authorities to cart you off for re-education, thinking that you're wrong to suspect vast tax-funded political forces might be targeting freedom, targeting the voluntary market, and targeting your peaceful choices, even perhaps of home appliances? Well, take a gander at this. The Biden administration Friday once more employed that quaint, strangling government euphemism standards as it announced sweeping new threats its members are lobbying at appliance manufacturers, appliance sellers, and appliance consumers like you. Hi everyone, I'm Gardner Goldsmith for MRC-TV. Here's the story. Thomas Catenacci reports for Fox News, quote, the Biden administration proposed sweeping rules Friday to boost energy efficiency standards for clothes washers and refrigerators in an action it claimed would save consumers money and significantly reduce pollution, which widens a few eyes among people who understand how markets work. They work, of course, by catering to consumers, and those consumers drive folks like appliance manufacturers and sellers to actually offer increasingly efficient items at lower costs. How is this possible? The consumer actually has to define what is or is not efficient based on the give and take of cost, durability, and many other factors that are all subjective and have to be expressed through purchase or rejection of various makes and models? That's just crazy. You see, government bureaucrats are the ones who are supposed to decide. They have to mandate uniformity and strangle experimentation, even as they claim that they're the arbiters of what in a moral world would be reserved for peaceful participants in a market. Adds Catenacci, quote, the Department of Energy, DOE, said the two regulations, which would be implemented in 2027 if approved, are projected to reduce carbon dioxide emissions by 233 million metric tons over the next 30 years. The agency also estimated that the energy efficiency standards taking certain appliance models off the market would save $3.5 billion on an annual basis. Right. You know, those who understand markets and peace can note that there was a particular fulcrum term up there. That is, if approved. You see, this isn't a matter of Congress writing a new statute, and even if Congress were to do that, such a statutory mandate would not be constitutional or moral. This is a self-referential matter. The Department of Energy proposes what its thugs want to propose, then it allows for a public hearing, during which the DOE will let us serfs and the manufacturers ask for forbearance and to be left alone. And then its staff will do whatever the heck they want anyway. Yeah, they'll wipe their hands and continue on. This, of course, is a variation of the proposal that we heard 2 weeks ago, the one about the Consumer Product Safety Commission wanting to ban gas stoves from future sales and installation, evidently taking a break from laughing about the federal clamps imposed on oil and gas exploration that have contributed to major spikes in home heating, food, and travel costs. Energy Secretary, that is such a nice thing to think about when we consider the fact that there is no such thing in the Constitution. Well, anyway, Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm spouted this in a statement, quote, with today's proposals, we're building on a decades-long effort with our industry partners to ensure tomorrow's appliances work more efficiently and save Americans money. Industry partners? Save Americans money? Well, this sounds perilously akin to mafia speak. They're offers the industry partners just cannot refuse. They're offers that Americans can't choose not to accept should they want to buy fridges and clothes washers that they prefer. In other words, they aren't offers at all. They're commands. Catenacci adds more dark details, which ought to be remembered and shared. Quote, according to the announcement, the washers and refrigerators affected by the regulations currently represent 5% of annual residential energy use and 8% of residential electricity use nationwide. Ah, boy, you know, whether those represent a small portion or a large portion of the market, it is not the place of politicians to tell others how to run their businesses and homes. And in fact, this move is just one of the many the Biden thugs have undertaken to smash U.S. appliance buyers. Quote, the new standards proposed for the 2 household appliances are the latest in a series of energy efficiency actions the Biden administration has pursued since taking office 2 years ago. In 2022 alone, the administration took more than 110 actions on appliances. On his first day in office in January 2021, President Biden signed an executive order requiring the Department of Energy to make major revisions to current appliance regulation standards and standards set by the Trump administration. A month later, the agency listed more than a dozen energy efficiency rules impacting appliances like water heaters, cooking products, and lamps that it would review. You know, these are the kinds of invasive, paternalistic, hubristic, and evil attacks on peaceful commerce that the American revolutionaries would have raised arms to oppose. Since its establishment in 1977 by the offensive and Constitution-defying Carter administration, the Department of Energy has engaged in never-ending threats, fines, pork schemes, commands, prohibitions, claims to people's land, and impositions on consumers that not only have caused untold damage to our wallets, the DOE actions have damaged lives. Its central command and control view is Soviet style, and it must be opposed. Consumers can decide what is efficient for themselves, and makers can respond. Are politicians to decide what is efficient for our relationships in other areas of life as well? Are we going to see them telling us that we're watching too much television? Are we reading too long under a particular lamp? Did you drive to the shore with your spouse or family? Well, sorry about that. That's just not efficient in the eyes of the carbon crazies in the climate cult in government. And of course, their cronies internationally. Of course, there's one more thing. As they start to pare back carbon, we are made of carbon. And our interests, those are sacrificial in their eyes. We are the lambs to be sacrificed for their great climate god. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe, and please find us at MRCTV.org. That's MRCTV.org. While you're there, please donate to the Media Research Center, because as the Media Research Center has surpassed 35 years fighting the leftist establishment in the pop media, we find that the battle continues and gets even more intense. And you are our allies. You can also find us on YouTube. The videos are there. Sometimes they censor us. We would love it if you join us at Rumble, where they don't censor us. And give us a big thumbs up and share the videos far and wide. You can also find us in Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, and on Twitter. And if you want to find me on Twitter, I am at Gard Goldsmith, and on Gab, I'm at Gardner Goldsmith. For MRC TV, thank you so much for believing in freedom and free will. I'm Gardner Goldsmith.